Hello, beautiful. Welcome to Cosplay and Conversation. I'm Vortex. Don't mind me. Just took my suit out of the wash after my interview with Blue Kirby Cosplay, who loves to challenge himself to make complicated builds. Yeah, I know. I'm weird. And I don't care. This is Cosplay and Conversation.
First and foremost, thank you so much, Avi, for joining me today. And thank you for allowing me to interview you.
Glad to be here. Glad to talk about it.
All right. So, first and foremost, what's in the name Blue Kirby Cosplay? Like, what made you call what you do Blue Kirby Cosplay?
Well, it started off kind of as a joke that during college, me and a few of now good friends played Super Smash Bros. On N64.
Okay.
And when we first met, nobody actually knew each other's real names, so we just referred to each other as our characters. And Red Yoshi and Yellow Ness were groomsmen at my wedding, but it just kind of became a running joke.
All right. That sounds so sweet and so awesome. It's a wonderful icebreaker. I love it. So what draws you to the characters you portray or cosplay?
So I try to always connect with my characters just because in building it, typically some of these builds take 6 to 10 months and you have to stay motivated. So I try to connect something with the character. And like Mysterio came off of, it was a drop, like a come away from doing another cosplay I do, Mr. Freeze.
Mm-hmm.
So originally I did Mr. Freeze because I thought, here's a guy who loves his wife, will do anything for his wife, and I can respect that. He's not out there to conquer the world.
Right.
He's a good husband. So I made a Mr. Freeze massive dome also,
Mm-hmm.
and the whole costume ended up weighing 30 pounds, 30.
Wow. Wow. That
I had
sounds
to
like
put
an
fingers
endurance
in there.
run. Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, it would really make me like physically ill because you can't carry around 30 pounds for 6 hours and come out okay.
Right. Wow. Oh, wow. That sounds really, really awesome and painful at the same time.
It was. And from that, I kind of saw Mysterio and saw the logistics of someone who's, a character as a character, he doesn't have any special superpowers. He just does the special effects and the logistics of trying to make a character that a dome is never easy.
Right.
Of all the Mysterios I see, a lot don't think about a fan, but they need a fan.
Yes.
Most of them will have some sort of either a reflective dome or a little space so their eyes can see out.
Okay.
As far as I know, I'm the only Mysterio who actually incorporates a full camera system so that my dome is completely opaque.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You can see the little screen inside.
Yes, yes. That's
So
awesome.
yeah, it's just been fun to kind of push myself with that. And for me, a lot of it, the fun is in the building. It's in trying to find a way to overcome the problem of not being able to see.
Right. That is an ongoing issue with cosplay. You have to come up with alternative ways to actually function.
And especially, a lot of cosplayers that you might see at a con or in a photo shoot, these are people who have day jobs and on their nights and weekends, they spend time making something that you could see on the big screen, right?
Right.
We're working on a budget, and then the studios will make something that will look one way. I mean, sometimes it's good, sometimes not, but some cosplayers, the creativity to overcome a problem and to get to movie accurate when we don't necessarily have, a whole production team and a whole sewing team and every electronics and whatnot. So I love the building, the technical skills of learning new stuff.
All right. Now, did you go to school for electronics or did you learn on your own as you went along?
Learned as I went along, and it happens to be now I work in lighting, but
Okay.
everything cosplay that I've done was trial and error.
Okay. All right. That is wonderful. Kudos to you. What do you do? Why do you do what you do? Because I know you do this with your wife. And so why
Right.
do both of you do what you do?
We've been married about 5 years, and I think I've been cosplaying about 5 years because it really didn't happen before we got married.
Okay.
But why we do it? It's I enjoy the building, but the reaction from other people. There were times as Mr. Freeze, people came over, like adults came over and said, "Hey, who killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age, yeah," like the old Arnold Schwarzenegger movie.
Yes, yes.
And then you have coming over and saying, "I love when you did this in that comic." To them, they're not meeting a guy in a costume. They're meeting their heroes. They're meeting Superman and Batman. And as much as I loved Mr. Freeze, it's a big, bulky suit, and I have a big freeze gun. I couldn't really do anything. And then I made Ghost Rider, which is basically just, jeans, a leather jacket, and you just have to do the head.
Right.
And for that, I could crouch down, interact with kids, and I thought, this is just it. This is fun.
And now you're a dad.
Yeah. Now I'm a dad. I have an 18-month-old who is a great kid, and he is going to hopefully be a cosplayer.
That is so wonderful. I cannot wait to see the family aesthetics as he gets older and, the types of themes that all three of you come up with and portray.
Right. Yeah. I mean, the same way, like, as fun as it is to interact within our own family, we could do first couples cosplays, which is always a blast, and now family cosplays.
Yes.
So I look forward to it.
I'm sure. Now, what is your plan of attack when you are doing your cosplay? What is your thought process?
A lot of thought goes in. I will be on the subway thinking about it, designing something, and then I'm walking to the office and thinking and designing it, and then as soon as I finish work, it's back to thinking and designing. So the large part of the approach is a few good tips someone who got me into cosplay way back gave me, which is one, think about the weight.
Yes. I agree.
Take the big bulky ones, and the more you're gonna put on yourself, the harder it's gonna be. So as big as it is, it has to be functional.
Yes.
He said, think about the shoes. You're walking around for hours. You don't want to be in platforms,
No, absolutely not.
So the shoes, and he said, if you're gonna have anything around your head, a dome, a mask, try to get fans, be able to breathe.
Yes.
So I'm balancing, obviously what I want to present to the audience, to the people who are going to see it. And for myself, I want to present something that I'm proud of. But at the same time, the logistics of, hey, can I stretch? Can I move? And
can you
this, can I eat? Yes. Mr. Freeze with the dome on could not eat. Mysterio, this is now my third version of it. So the first one, this bodysuit I commissioned someone to make for me. The first one was just a green bodysuit that I painted the lines on, and I wanted to get a little something nicer. But since then, you see the shoulder pads
Yes.
now are detachable. The cape is detachable. The dome, at first, it was all wired together. So if I took the head off, I had a wire going out.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Making it wireless, it's the progression of how can I make it better and better. And I recently heard like someone saying that part of dealing just kind of with anxiety about things is about managing expectations, accepting that the first run around you're going to do it wrong.
Yes.
Don't try to do it perfectly. Do it, learn, and do it again better.
Exactly.
So coming into cosplays, I was doing this without even thinking about it, to just do it, get it wrong, and acknowledge that I'm going to build it again the next time.
Yes.
And some of these take 6 months to a year, so I'm only planning one per year,
Understood. Completely understand. Now, troubleshooting. How do you get around troubleshooting? Because you said this is your third go at this character. So how do you handle troubleshooting?
Whenever I go out into like at a con, right? I'll usually have a little goodie bag with me with batteries and screwdrivers and duct tape, and it's great because I was at an anime con and someone's dress, like a seam teared, and she said, "Does anyone have tape?" And I came over with a little bit of glue, and someone else ran over with tape, and a third person came with safety pins. And the idea of like everyone has their to-go bag, I love it. And everyone can relate to needing that. So in the field, let's say, in person, you gotta have a to-go bag with you, and for lack of better terms, a handler. My wife has been able to scooch her hand all the way up to get the fan and just shimmy it to turn it on, because if I'm Mr. Freeze and that fan turns off, like the whole dome fogs up, and I'm just air.
Oh no. Well, you know what? Praises to your wife for making sure you can still function.
Yeah, she's great, and you got to have help. It's not a one man or one woman, one person show.
Right.
So, especially with cosplay and the cosplay community, one of the big things that drew me in, aside from the love of making and the love of showing, is that community. The fact that everyone will help out. So people are not going to be secretive with their techniques. They're not going to try to hoard and hide those life hacks that we all need. So if you didn't know how to sew, throw it out there. There's YouTube videos. If you didn't have the material to fix it, ask. Everyone is really helpful, and even some of the great like massive, amazing build that you see, they're just ordinary people, and they're happy to talk about their passion the same way I'm coming here because I love this and I want to share. I want to interact with people, and when they have questions about a lot of lighting stuff, actually people come to me about, because Mr. Freeze had lights everywhere. Ghost Rider had flickering flames.
Yes.
So people, I guess, know that I love putting the lights in my cosplays, and from that, they'll come to me and say, "Hey, this is what I want to do. How do I do it?"
That's awesome. That is so awesome. So do you have any tips and tricks that you would like to share?
I'll give a tip. Anyone who wants to put lights or, like a camera or microphone type of thing into their costume, think about the battery. Where are you going to put the battery? Never put it into the build, never consider it. And then for a while, I had just a belt around my waist to hold it. So, as much as we want to present something that looks great, the logistics of it. We're not, like I said, a movie production studio. Right. So how are we going to breathe? How are we going to see? How are we going to hear? The microphone was a big deal because the first go around, no one could hear me.
Like water.
Exactly.
Yes. That is a good tip as far as thinking about where the battery goes, because when I did my Iron Heart costume, I like laser cut the front of it, did the lighting, and then I had the battery pack. It's like, where should I put it? And it ended up just going in my back, which was very uncomfortable. But that is a very good point. Thank you for bringing that up. And what type of outsourcing do you use to accomplish these cosplays?
Well, most of the stuff I do myself. Mm-hmm. Like I said, this bodysuit was purchased, but I've learned how to sew.
Okay.
My next thing I want to learn is how to solder wires. Okay. And then really I can, put all the lights in myself. A lot of it, I don't necessarily outsource the production, the making of it. I will ask everyone for how they did what they did. How did they, another cosplayer taught me how to sew. So I'm happy to ask for help, but just because I like making the activity of making, mm-hmm. I want to, I'd rather take my time, do it myself, all that.
Great. I am learning to pace myself when it comes to making my cosplays, because I am definitely a last minute person. That is me all the way. And I am learning to plan out, which is great. And you have time to wait for stuff to come in the mail.
There was a point when I was, saying I have to finish this suit by New York Comic-Con or that's it. Mm-hmm. And I don't know what light switch changed to, no, do it right. When it's ready, you'll bring it to the next one. It doesn't have to be New York Comic-Con. It doesn't have to be some big show. When it's ready, it's ready. You'll take it out. It'll be fine. And you're going to reuse it anyway.
Exactly. Right. Exactly.
But it's not easy.
No, it's not easy. So I do remember meeting you and your wife at Otakon. I believe it was 2019. And I think 2018. And I believe the two of you were looking for other androids. So I was Android 21 at that convention.
I did Android 17 and 18.
Yes.
And we had another couple that we were friends with that dressed up as Vegeta and Nappa. And they were so good.
Yes. And his hair glowed in the dark.
Yeah. And we had thought about, down the line, when we have a son, to dress him up as Android 16.
I love it. So now you have your Android 16.
Or he could be Goku and I'll chase him around.
True.
Yeah.
And you can make a Nimbus for him.
Yes. His little stroller could be a Nimbus.
Yes.
Oh, that'd be so cute.
Oh my goodness. This has been a complete pleasure. I'm so happy that you were able to join me today. And once again, my guest is Avi of Blue Kirby Cosplay. Please check him out. All the details will be in the descriptions and links. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Glad to come on.